I'm gonna mute my camera for like a minute.
Right. Hey everybody, we're live. Hey now. All right. I don't feel good again, boys and girls. It's happening again. It's like a vid test. I'm negative, but everybody's got it. Just another freaking week. All right, where are the notes? Let's find this.
Shit. All right. Hello.
Hello.
I know why you got sick, because you bought that orange person's NFT yesterday, and as soon as you opened
it takes over, man.
I'm gonna make you sick. Stick to your stomach. I'm gonna make you sick to your stomach. I'm gonna take away Mr. Gonzo's internet.
Take all the Gonzos in. Let me hear you, Rich.
Check. I'm up. I'm pumped.
All right.
It is a shitty day outside. I'm sorry that you feel
it
shitty.
is.
It is so awful out. I think we're not gonna get the full nor'easter. We're just getting like
this whatever the hell this is.
The sloppy seconds of it. Yeah.
No, last night sucked too. You know, it was rainy last night.
Mm-hmm. Are you calling for the waiter?
Monsieur?
Monsieur Tony Khan.
Monsieur Tony Khan. For people who missed it, we've made Tony French. Tony now is a Frenchman from times of past.
Very classic.
Do you have your VPN on?
I don't.
Your video's a little grainy.
Yeah. My internet has not been great either. I think it got the MG Geek virus.
You got the virus, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me retweet this, and we could get this party going.
Out of all the bits, I kind of want French Tony Khan to have the most traction because it's so stupid and absurd.
Do you know yesterday in that meeting that I was in? Okay, we're not going to say who I was with. I did it for him. And he said that that's the most absurd thing that they've ever fucking heard.
Amazing. I mean, that's what I want to hear. I want that to be like, why? I want the serious wrestling people to go, why?
Why? Why are you doing this?
Why? Stop having fun.
Monsieur Tony Khan.
Did you catch the Ring of Honor pay-per-view? Monsieur Zarian? This is going to get wilder and wilder.
Got
hey, guys.
Hey.
Oh, jeez.
It was such a soft hello, too, in the morning.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. I've done no Christmas shopping, so.
Oh, do what I do. I have the perfect answer for Christmas shopping.
What is it?
I give my wife $500 and say, take care of business. And then I don't got to do shit. It's great.
All right. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. This is a double box. We got this.
Okay. We're gonna go a little long today, but we're gonna be out of here by noon. We have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we have a ton to talk about here. So let's do this in 3, 2, and 1. Hey, everybody, welcome to McMahon, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarin. I'm joined by the Let's do that one more time.
That's me. I am the Dabada. The ultimate Dabada.
Sorry, guys. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody, welcome to McMahon, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarin. I'm joined by the original meatball, Rich Dambolian.
That's it. That's the best you got. I would prefer the original Dabada. Whatever that means.
I don't even know what happened. I'm so sorry. I don't feel great today. I had a long night. But Rich is feeling great.
I am feeling pretty fantastic. So are you ready to do this?
Oh, man, a lot of news.
I want to distract you from how you feel so we can get through this next 6 hours of the McMahon podcast this week.
The original Dabada. People very much like that original intro that I had for you.
Keep that in there. Just keep it as silly as possible.
Like we were going to do the show in studio, but I'm kind of not feeling great. And I took a test. I'm negative now, but let's see what happens tomorrow. But I kind of I'm a little coffee again. And I'm like, Rich, stay home. We'll do this remote today. So I also have 1,000 things going on. We got that global hair loss summit thing that Suncast and I are running.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that you guys still do that consistently,
Every year. So we got that this weekend. So we got to prep for that. I'm slammed. I am slammed this weekend. This whole week I was slammed. Very interesting meeting I had yesterday. Rich knows a little bit about this. Very interesting. So we'll get into it as to why it was interesting. But a lot going on in the world of professional wrestling. Rich, take the lead on this.
All right, guys. So we're going to start out heavy with some news here. A new Wall Street Journal article says Vince McMahon is facing new legal demands, but quote unquote intends to make a comeback to WWE. I'm booing that.
I think a lot of people are.
Listen, I'm not a fan. I think a lot of people are. It's very interesting. There's new possible lawsuits. Rita Chatterton's lawyers sent a letter on November 3rd asking for $11.75 million in damages. Why not ask for 12?
It might be the cap or something like that, wherever she's suing.
Yeah, and McMahon's attorney also received an email from a lawyer from a former spa manager who says that McMahon assaulted her at a California resort in 2011.
So
this shit is wild.
This is the second tanning salon incident, right?
Boy. Yeah.
Do you remember the first one? And everybody's like, no, it didn't happen the way people, there was a lot of defending him on that. Essentially, he kind of was like, hey, would you mind taking a photo of me? And then started scrolling and was like, oops,
Here's
the
the wanger.
He did one of those. And then I think he touched her and he was like, I'm just trying to have some fun. Something absurd like that.
Yeah.
Listen, I have no idea if this is real or not. I know the Rita the Chatterton stuff has been going on for 30 years. I believe she had taken some sort of money in a settlement or something like that in the past. These are going to come up. Now that people are talking about it and they're more comfortable to talk about this, these things are going to come up. The big story, part of this big story, is that Vince has told people that he intends on making a comeback, and he was given bad advice regarding stepping down. And, early on, I was told this was a temporary step down until everything goes away. That was always how it was kind of put in to play when it was explained to me. But, listen, I know Sean did a great job on Fightful Select, and he reported that, he had spoken to a couple of people there, or a lot of people there, and essentially a lot of people don't want him, which is true. And some people that you would imagine would want him don't want him there. It's a little bit of a calmer environment.
Right.
What do you think of this?
I honestly we skew towards the positive on this show, and we very rarely poo-poo things. I'm poo-pooing this. I don't think this guy should come back. It seems like everybody in the company is breathing easier, like you just said. This guy is not the warlord in charge with these weird dumb decisions. And I also think if he comes back, everybody's gonna go back to their original names. The people who were fired are gonna get fired again. Just very wonky stuff, especially since this would be a situation of he's Jay Leno and Triple H is Conan O'Brien,
and he comes in and takes over the spot again.
He wants to get the Tonight Show back.
I can't believe they did that. They didn't give him a chance at all. He came back after a couple of weeks.
Yep, really. I think it was maybe 6 or 7 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's almost the same situation where this guy is actually planting the seeds for a better harvest, right?
Yeah.
And Vince coming back, I feel would ruin it, especially because if he comes back with a weird old man fury, it's just gonna rip shit apart. I don't think it's gonna work.
Old man.
What about
fury.
you? Do you want to see it happen?
No, I think they're doing some really positive stuff now, and I don't think they'll be able to do that with Vince. Listen, and also at one point, do you want a 70-something-year-old person running, the ship for a giant media company? How great is SNL doing right now?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
how old
SNL,
is he now? He's up there.
Yeah, Lauren's up there, but I think that's a different kind of machine.
I don't know. I think when you need to have a different perspective a little bit, and I think they're getting that now. Very interesting stuff. Let's go into this Mandy Rose situation because I know this is going to take some time. So
very, very interesting. Yeah.
On Tuesday, actually, let me just say this: there was a title match set up for New Year's Evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Roxanne Perez. They moved this match up to last week.
Yeah.
Let me just double check here. Okay. They moved this thing up. Mandy drops the title.
Yes.
And people start speculating, is it because of her leaks? Now, I don't is it a leak if she's posting it on a paid service that anybody could buy? I initially thought someone leaked her images. I didn't even understand what was going on here.
Right.
And then people saying, no, it's coming from her site. It's an OnlyFans. So it's not an OnlyFans. It's a fan time account.
Right.
And essentially, it's very much like an OnlyFans where you pay and her content is behind a paywall. And she would post, initially, she would post bikini shots, like the thong shot, like fitness model shots.
Yeah.
And I think, what seems to have happened is that she kind of fell down that hole of, holy moly, I'm making so much money here. And it got a little bit more risque, the photos, and they became full on like lewds.
Yeah.
And recently, people were very much aware this was going on. Okay. Apparently everybody was except for WWE.
Yeah.
The people I've reached out to at WWE have said they had no idea this was the content she was posting. And it seems like the nail in the coffin was a shower photo shoot with, I guess, her boyfriend, right? There was a shower. I mean, they're fully nude. You don't get to see parts, but it's covered, right?
Right. It's like Skinamax.
Just like Skinamax. And then there were some way more revealing images.
Yes, to say the least.
There's a lot of butthole being shown. I'll just tell you that. So, listen, she's making a killing,
Good for
on
her.
there. The numbers I've heard are astronomical.
Yeah.
And she made a decision. And WWE made a decision to release her. Is WWE right into releasing her? Yeah, I think they are.
I think there's a question mark at the end of that. You know what I mean?
Okay, but here's the comparison of posting videos of Trish Stratus and posting videos of stuff from 20 years ago. It's not an even comparison. Two, WWE's representation of her as being a sex symbol on TV is very different from posting essentially just nudity or stimulated sex. Simulated sex. It is stimulated too. Listen, I'm not a freaking prude. I don't care. Like, my moral compass is not involved in this. I don't give a shit what anybody does. Good for her. Make money. But
no, admit it. You are a big prude.
I'm a huge prude. No kissing.
You're like a Puritan. You are like one of the original Quakers that came over here, and you run a tight ship, I gotta say.
I am a Puritan, yes. And I want everyone to follow my way of life. No one else.
It's a firm handshake, no matter who you meet. It's never a hug and a kiss. It's just a please remain 4 feet away from me. Extend your hand, shake mine. And
do you want to reconnect? Because your video is like,
yeah, I'll reconnect.
All right, let's do that.
I'm just gonna go.
All right, goodbye. So, I mean, listen to I get it. I get why she posted it. I get how she's making so much money. She's a beautiful woman. She has this ability to make tons and tons of money. There we go. Much better. Thank you. So she's doing what she decided to do, but the consequences are you're working for a publicly traded company that obviously has content partners. You sell toys to children.
Right.
Having somebody on contract represented on TV that also does that on the side, does that fit in the WWE narrative? No, it doesn't. So
I do think they should have given her a talking to. You know what I mean? Like, if they're going to go that route, they and they've supported like people who have had quote unquote leaks in the past, you know?
Yes, but it's not a leak. It wasn't that someone stole it. It's that it's being sold for a lot of money.
I do think they should have had a talking to at first, you know? But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Good for her. She's charging money. She's making a lot of money. What would you rather do? Would you rather make over 6 figures a year selling pictures of your butt, or throw your head onto concrete?
7 figures, over 7 figures.
Wow. Or throw your head onto a concrete floor 5 nights a week, you know?
No. I mean, the estimate, like people are saying, I mean, she was making unbelievable money, millions. Way more than she does on a WWE contract. I could totally understand why she would do it. But, you know, here's the difference. AEW, there are talent on there that have OnlyFans. Tony Storm. I don't know if Tony's posting. Who else?
Paige Van Zandt.
Paige Van Zandt. Paige shows a ton, but I don't think Tony does as much. But like this was, you know, this passed the line. I would say for sure. So the stuff that she's posting that I've seen crossed the line.
Okay.
For WWE.
Yeah.
Not for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I give a crap.
I mean,
you show his butthole all he wants. I don't care.
You are a Puritan.
I'm a Puritan. I care so much. What do you make of this? You think she should have been, fired for this, or you think?
I think she should have been suspended and have a talking to, and then come back.
Sure.
Like, make sure. Why if she agreed and was like, if they were like, listen, take it down. You know, like, we'll give you a little bump in pay. We'll keep you off the air. We'll suspend you for 60 days, but take it down. You know,
whatever. Yeah, that's fine too.
Sure.
But you know, what I'm talking generally is about how people were. Like, how can they even think about punishing her when they've done this and this and this? I'm like, they don't do this. They don't show that kind of stuff.
But it's a little hypocritical.
Is it?
It's a little hypocritical, especially when you have a CEO who is mired in lawsuits full of allegations, who is now saying, "Yeah, I'm coming back."
Listen, I get it, right? There's so many different variables here, and there's so many different sides to this argument. But at the end of the day, you are a contracted person to fulfill a role. You have to represent yourself outside of that role also in a positive way. Whatever that company guideline is, whatever morality clause they have. I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm sure WWE has a thing that says you can't do that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's also not a Disney-fied thing, you know? But also, like, you've heard these stories, and we're not going to name names, obviously. I've heard these stories, too, where apparently, like, both behind-the-scenes locker rooms are very raunchy. Like,
is it?
It's not. It's not like it was 20 years ago with the drug use. Now it's just like it's a lot of risque, I think, you know.
Yeah. But interesting stuff. I hope Mandy does tremendous. Listen, I think she'll be back.
For sure.
She had a great run in NXT. But you know the big question: does she go to AEW? Is this a move for her to go to AEW?
Impact.
Goes to Impact.
I think so. But again, you have to, like, I feel like as much as we and other fans want to fanboy guest stuff like that, it's ultimately obviously up to the performer. You know, like, does Mandy say, I love wrestling so much, I need to go to AEW and I'll make X amount of money plus whatever money I'll make doing my OnlyFans style content, you know? Or does she just, like, take a break, heal up, do her thing? You know, if you follow her Instagram, she looks like she has the time of her life, like, anywhere. You know what I mean?
Listen, I think she's going to be fine. I don't
absolutely.
think Mandy Rose is going to suffer any kind of financial hardship.
Yeah.
Because of this. But, you know, weird way it played out. I didn't expect this to play out the way it did. The big shocker is that nobody at WWE was aware of what she was posting, which I find that to be very odd.
That's a huge shocker.
Yeah, because they're so tight. Like I know that there are people assigned to the talent social media, and their entire job is to kind of like narc on them when they post something that is not company guidelines.
Yeah.
So
you
know, I guess nobody thought to pay the $25 a month to see what Mandy's doing on her site. Which is unbelievable, right? Isn't that unbelievable?
Use a company card, get on there. But it's also like maybe.
I mean, listen, she's doing dick ratings. You know what I mean?
jeez.
Like, I gotta tell you, like, do you think that's appropriate? You know what I mean? For a contractor, for a WWE contracted talent, not in general, because I don't care.
Right.
I'll do it for $50. I don't care.
You'll rate my dick?
Only yours.
Just mine.
5 potatoes.
Stepping out of the puritanical shadows. You know what? Let me.
Come on. Let's. We gotta look at this and laugh sometimes. You know, we gotta be like, okay, she's making a killing here. It's fine.
I bet you there were probably a few people who were like, yeah, listen, I know what you're doing. I'm not going to narc on you. You know, like there's probably that.
I'm sure.
Also.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, she seems like she's a nice person.
Justice for Mandy Rose was trending yesterday.
Oh boy.
Like, I'm like, she's not in an Iranian prison, guys.
Well, plus also, I think it's a little hypocritical too, because I think she's getting over the loss of her brother, who died tragically not too long ago. And also, wasn't she the victim of like
that kidnapping attempt, that crazy guy?
Yeah. So like
insane.
That was
insane.
her.
What? Who? Yeah, it was.
No,
that was her and Sonya Deville.
It was Sonya and her.
That was just Sonya.
No. She was in the house.
No. Well,
yeah. Listen, she made a decision. She's gonna do great. I don't think anybody's questioning, you know, Mandy Rose's future as financial success. So weird story, man. Or you know what? She's the smartest. She's smarter than anybody else, and she did this to get out of her deal.
Again, you know, like who knows? Like if she's like, oh, listen, I'm making $1 million right now. I'm making more than what do they pay you in NXT? $10,000 a year?
No, she gets paid well. But not, I mean, from the number I heard, it's like a couple million she's making from this. So fascinating stuff. William Regal has accepted a vice president position within WWE to start the first week in January. He's going to be working with younger talent, and this is exactly what Regal wanted. He's back into a very good position there. His son is there. Very interesting. But that was a strange move. Very quick. Another weird move in that company.
Well, I think he probably had like some. I think Tony Khan is very loose with his contracts. It seems, you know, where it's like he's not binding everybody to like a, you know, like this is what you have to, like an ironclad deal like WWE has, you know, where like, you know, guys would get injured or whatever, and they'd have to make up time on TV, etc. You know, like no days off, you know, emergency calls and all that stuff. You know, Regal probably had a good deal where he's like, listen, this is what I want to do. When my contract is up, I'm going to go hang out with my kid, blah, blah, blah. And of course, like, you know, he was arguably the best talent scout WWE's ever had, right?
Yeah, probably. He was one of the best. One of the best. Yeah.
Like, look at all the guys that became stars because William Regal found them. You know, I think Kevin Owens, Johnny Gargano, you know, the list is like endless. I think Sami Zayn's on that list too, you know?
Very interesting. Let's go into this Matt Riddle stuff, because this is weird, okay?
Very.
So, it was reported that Regal was suspended for failing WWE's wellness policy.
Yeah.
Riddle was written off of WWE TV this month after an attack from Solo Sikoa. Oh, welcome. It's a brand new 2023 Solo Sikoa. It was reported that he failed the drug test, but now people close to him are denying this. Instead, he's taking time off because of pressure going through the divorce. That divorce is a little messy too, and there's a lot of stuff in that divorce paper. I guess the agreement. I don't know, divorce certificate or whatever, the agreement for the divorce. Where he has to take random drug tests in order to see the kids. It's not a good thing that they're going through with that divorce, but the original story is that he was told to go to rehab. Now they're saying no, he's not going to rehab. He's taking time off because of the pressure of dealing with this divorce.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to make of this.
Hey, listen. Guy failed the drug test. It's his responsibility.
Did he?
He's
denying it.
Okay. So what do you make of this? What do you think happened?
I think the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
I think the truth is somewhere in the middle with this, but you've heard the stories, so
Right.
there is truth to this for sure. I hope everything works out for him.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
very popular with the young people.
Very popular.
It looks like WWE and New Japan have come to terms with an agreement for Carl Anderson to wrestle at Wrestle Kingdom 17. This makes me go a little bananas, to be honest with you.
How excited are you?
I'm so excited because I feel like this is going to be the invasion. This is when it happens, by the way.
The real one, the one from 20 years ago that never happened.
Yep. My fan. Go ahead.
I want Bill Goldberg to show up and all the WCW guys.
The fanboy theories in my head are going through the roof because he'll show up with Gallows, right?
Well, I don't know.
He'll show up with Gallows, let's say maybe AJ, right? This is very interesting, especially because I feel like we all thought he was going to lose that title to Hikuleo.
I thought he was just going to hand it in. He wasn't even going to defend it.
So him defending at Wrestle Kingdom 17 against Tama Tonga, it's very interesting. I don't know how telling it is. WWE, and the 4th of January falls in the middle of a week, right?
It's a Wednesday? Yeah.
Yeah. WWE canceled their whatever show it was, like the day one show.
Yeah, day one is not happening. Yeah.
Right. So that's not happening. And you also have Nakamura in Japan at some point for the Muta match. You have Asuka's in Japan right now.
Is she?
Like, yeah, she posted like a thing where she's like soul searching and said like she'll be in Japan for a while. And she's hinting at like the return of Kana.
Yeah, I saw she didn't have her makeup on, and she's a little bit more serious now. So she's kind of adapting that Kana gimmick.
So it kind of, like me personally, I'm like, oh, this would be cool if Triple H did his fanboy shit and added a few extra elements to Wrestle Kingdom. They'll make it back in time for SmackDown, right? And you could set some cool stuff up. Right?
Yeah, that's interesting. I could see them doing Gallows, Gallows showing up and AJ showing up. They could do that. That would be cool. I think there's a lot of, here. This is a great example of life after Vince. This would have never happened with Vince.
Yeah.
Ever. And he's booked to lose, right? So a WWE guy's going to be on this New Japan show with AEW wrestlers on that show also. Right. And the WWE guy's going to drop the title.
Right. But also former WWE guys are going to be at that show. And I think that's like, Triple H is a smart dude, right? I always think back to, I want to say it was like maybe 5 years ago where they did a big show in Japan and Triple H came out with the Shield.
That was more than 5 years ago.
Like the 4th member. And the crowd went absolutely ballistic, right? I do think in the back of his head, he's like, yeah, we can tear up Japan like nobody else. Like we can do it big, right?
Oh, it was 2018, I think. Yeah, you're right. 2018.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago. So, and you get a lot of former WWE guys there. I personally think, and this is a very, very way out there, I think FTR are going to go back to WWE if Triple H remains in charge. I feel like I think they're going to drop those titles at Wrestle Kingdom. They're going to let their contracts let up and then go back to WWE, make a shit ton of money and be on like a bigger platform and used better. You know what I mean?
Do you think they would be used better? I mean, that's a great question, right? If FTR has had the run of their career this year, I don't think any tag team was booked as seriously as them. If they go to WWE, will they be in those type of matches, or are they going to be running after Braun Strowman and in these wacky matches?
Victims of the choo-choo train?
The victims of the choo-choo train. Will they become victims of the choo-choo train?
I do think one thing that we've seen under the Triple H regime is that he actually cares about tag teams, and he's put a lot of tag teams into the spotlight, Yeah,
I'm curious to see what they do. So, also, let's go into the Sasha news, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Go into it, Rich.
Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I lost my notes. Again, former or current or who knows WWE talent Sasha Banks or Mercedes.
She is not under contract, and the story that the deal kind of fell apart in the summer is true.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So she is appearing at Wrestle Kingdom 17, per Dave Meltzer, not scheduled to wrestle, but is being paid more than Jericho got, and she's already penciled in for some New Japan dates in 2023. And as per Fightful, her WWE departure was negotiated months ago, and she's free to start taking bookings on January 1st. Now, what do you make of this?
I don't know. I know that Dave's reporting that she's not going to wrestle, but why would you pay over $100,000 for someone to appear on Wrestle Kingdom and not wrestle?
Yeah, I mean, like, do you think she gets involved with the Kairi Sane match?
I think so. I think they want to really make the New Japan, women's division be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sasha would be a great, pop to that.
Oh, for sure.
And we'll see what happens on January 11th, because that's a whole separate story here with Paige and the secret, tag partner.
Yeah, that's also very interesting. What if it's Mandy?
What if it's now? Yeah. I don't know. I know that she's penciled in for some dates in 2023. I know that she's been training in Mexico with Hoovy, or training with Hoovy. I don't know if it was in Mexico, but very interesting. She also trademark filed for. Oh no, that's next story. Sorry. She did file a bunch of trademarks for her name. I think, listen, if she could go to AEW, I think that's a great gig for AEW. Do something there. Go to Japan, wrestle in Japan also, like what Mox has been doing.
Yeah,
what Mox did for New Japan, and what Chris Jericho did for New Japan. Those were big deals.
Oh yeah. Wrestle Kingdom's going to be interesting, and plus you also have like the AEW talent on there.
Who becomes the first AEW World Champion that also holds the IWGP World Title?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because that's gonna happen. Not that I know it, but I feel like it can.
So that also, like, we're gonna fanboy out here for a minute, but let's say, okay, this is my fanboy fantasy.
Yeah.
Right. Okada beats Jay White.
Okay.
Right. All of a sudden, you hear Roman's theme song.
Oh my God.
Points to Okada and goes, next year. And that's it. And then you have like a year. So it doesn't hurt anybody. Right?
What do you think the odds of that happening are, Rich?
1 in a 10 billion.
I'll take it, though.
Right? But how cool would that be? A weird exhibition match between Roman and Okada. Like, as a fan, you want that. You want to see that, Like, why not? And Okada has said that in the past, that he wants to wrestle Roman. I think Wrestle Kingdom needs eyes on it again this year, because the last couple of years in New Japan have been good, but not phenomenal, right? You're going to have a lot of AEW talent on the show. You're going to have WWE talent on the show. You're going to have Ring of Honor talent on the show, plus like your staples of the New Japan roster.
Yeah, wild.
Very wild. It's almost like the first, like, all-in kind of. And I think there's going to be more cool stuff announced. Like the Kenny match is huge. Like Kenny versus Ospreay. That's really cool, because I think both of us thought, like, maybe Kenny won't be coming back to New Japan.
I like how everybody thought that they really don't like each other.
Right.
And I'm like, no, man, they're doing business. I mean, this makes a lot of sense. Kenny returning to New Japan and doing Wrestle Kingdom again, that's huge. And I think that's really big for New Japan. Because they've had a rough year. I think this is a smart move for them to bring in a Sasha Banks, Mercedes, whatever you're going to call her, and bring in a Kenny and do these interesting things. It's going to bring in eyeballs, and they need that right now.
Moxley, to answer your question, I think Mox would be the first double title holder.
I could see that.
Right? Like a big blow. Like let's say either Jay White or Okada would have a insane match with Jon Moxley, put both belts on him, ace of pro wrestling, right?
Yeah. WWE filed trademarks for King and Queen of the Ring, possibly setting up a return to the King of the Ring as a standalone event. I think that's a good idea. And AEW has hired former WWE VP of Global TV Production, Michael Mansouri. He was slated to replace Kevin Dunn. He was there for, I think, 11 years. He knew that production system inside and out on how they do things. and he left. He didn't get fired, but he left to go work for Pat McAfee. And after Patty went to Showtime Boxing or something boxing for a little bit, and now he's with AEW, this guy was supposed to be the next guy in charge. If Kevin left, he would have been the guy. Mm-hmm. Let's see how this changes AEW TV.
Might make it a little tighter, right?
Maybe. I mean, it's all production side stuff. So I mean, the production is already fine. It's just gonna kind of add a little bit more to it. But this is a very good get for them. They're building those missing pieces in that company.
Yeah, and people like, you know, it's interesting with like all this news coming out or whatever. The company's still a baby, AEW. You know, so there's always room for improvement. And it's interesting now how like fans have kind of turned on them a little bit, you know, where it's like, oh, this is terrible.
Well, the MJF stuff was the beginning. Actually, Cody leaving was the beginning. Okay. That was the beginning of the turn because people were like, well, Cody's leaving. What the hell's going on? And then the MJF stuff rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And the CM Punk stuff has really sucked the energy out. That really, it really did slow down the momentum that they had. Also, listen, you didn't have Kenny Omega on TV for 8 months. You did. Cody leaves. Mox is banged up. Mox needs to go.
Right.
You know, you're kind of putting in missing pieces here when it was never part of your original plan. Tony never envisioned what happened with CM Punk to happen. He had an outline for the next year for what he was thinking he would do with Punk.
Adam Cole also.
Adam Cole being out, Danielson getting banged up. You know, these are all problems for sure. Yeah. These are all problems.
But I think they're in that regard, they're kind of righting the ship because look at the last couple of weeks of programming where there is the heavy concentration on like your AEW originals.
Yeah, but you need to present that in a. We'll go into that when we talk about the show.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you want to go, Rich?
All right. So I guess we can talk about Raw a little bit.
All right.
It was an okay episode. Alexa Bliss is now the #1 contender after beating Bayley. She teased a turn on Bianca when Bray Wyatt's logo appeared.
Oh, she's controlled by imagery.
Whoa. A ladder match was set up for all of the Miz's money between him and Dexter Lumis. That should be fun.
Can I tell you how much I hate that they will do this to talent where they pretend that the guy that's been on TV for 15 years, that's highly successful at media and everything he's been doing, has no freaking money, that he's broke?
Yeah. They just did that with Corbin too, remember?
They did that with Corbin. They did that with Shawn Michaels. They did that with Big Show. Like, why? Who at all believes at any level that The Miz has no money?
I think it's believable for kids.
I guess so. I guess.
You know,
it's
where
such
like
a
they don't
stupid, easy story. Like it's a dumb storyline.
Like a 5 or 6-year-old doesn't have the cognitive wherewithal to say like, that's horseshit, man. These guys are paid a lot of money to wrestle for our entertainment.
I would have said that.
Yeah, you know what? You were a very astute puritanical kid. You would tell
Puritan.
You would tell your parents to turn off Monday Night Raw when Sable came out.
Anybody want to see the grind?
That's enough. Shut it off, mother. Asuka lost to Rhea Ripley, leading to her identity crisis. Cool. Rollins beat Bobby Lashley, becoming the #1 contender for the U.S. title. Bobby Lashley lost his mind. Great. Cool. I don't mind the Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Austin Theory stuff.
Me either. I like it. I think they're doing a good job with it. I think this version of Austin Theory is working.
Yeah. That's right. Pro Wrestling Joe says 6-year-olds don't know wrestling sociology. That is true.
No, they do not know wrestling sociology. Only MG, our producer, knows it.
Yeah, he got fired today though. By the way,
yeah, he's fired.
So he's fired. Sorry, MG. I know you're watching. We fired him, and then he was like, "I guess I'll just still watch the show."
Rich came in. He cut the tin can. That he cut the because that's how he gets internet, right?
Snip.
Snip. Boom boom.
One empty can of beans in Michigan, and the other one is tied to your house.
Yeah.
Major stories coming out of Ring of Honor Final Battle. How did you like the show?
I thought the show was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a great show. I enjoyed the show.
Athena won the Women's Ring of Honor Championship
Cool.
against Mercedes Martinez. Good match.
Mercedes Martini. I like that.
Wheeler retained the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Regained?
Yeah.
Is it regained or retained?
Regained.
The Ring of Honor Pure Championship over Daniel Garcia. Great. Samoa Joe retained the television title over Juice Robinson. That was a good match.
Very good match, yeah.
I do love seeing Samoa Joe wrestle.
The problem with that match was it followed the Briscoes match.
Oh my God. So the Briscoes and FTR had a hell of a match. And it reminded me of every single thing I love about pro wrestling.
Me too. Yeah, me too. Like this would have been the ECW at home tape commercial, right? This would have sold that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. It was very I felt like those ECW vibes where it's like, yo, this is dangerous. Like, what are they doing to each other? Like, oh, this is you know what I mean? Like, it got to the point of the match where it's like, yo, this is real. And you kind of fool yourself into thinking that. You know?
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. The story within the match. I'm not. I said this on Observer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The gimmick is the match, right? The dog collar match is the gimmick here.
Yes.
WWE could do the same thing, and it will have a fraction of the impact that this match had.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
I'm not for blood and guts, but when it's done like this, it works because they told you the danger of being tied to your opponent, by your neck. They beat the crap out of each other. I thought it was. Somebody asked me, is this the best dog collar match you've ever seen? I gotta go back. Modern history, yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't. Someone's is it better than Valentine and what? I'm I don't know, man. I can't compare it to that, but this was remarkable. Great match.
Loved it, and also the blood told a story in this match. It wasn't gratuitous. You know? I do think there was an 8-year-old kid in the front row who probably shouldn't have been there.
Probably.
But loved it. Loved that match top to bottom. They told such a great story. The end of the match was fantastic, and also the Briscoes coming to help FTR at the end when the Guns got involved was a lot of fun. And your main event, Chris Jericho versus Claudio Castagnoli, with Claudio beating Jericho with the giant swing.
Beat him with the giant swing.
Which made him tap out. And you know what? It wasn't the thing that drives me nuts, and this is just me, about the swing is that people are just counting.
Yes, and it's over.
It wasn't 27 rotations. It was 27 seconds.
Is that what it is?
You know what I mean? I feel because it's people are just going 1, 2, 3. This dude's not even on a full rotation before 2 and 3 get called. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay.
So, Jericho tapping out was great. Also, Jericho losing on Dynamite was great. He's doing some cool stuff, man.
He's doing cool stuff. People were complaining, how could you tap to a giant swing? And Chris Jericho went on Twitter, started yelling at people and started telling them what a barbaric move it is.
Yeah.
Very unique finish. Now, here's the big question, right? So they had this show. They did not announce a TV.
Right.
A weekly TV show. During the media scrum, Ring of Honor's weekly TV, they announced, will air on Honor Club, whatever this new version of Honor Club is.
Yeah.
They didn't give a lot of details because New Japan is involved in some way.
Ooh.
Tony didn't state when the start date is for this weekly TV show, but expect news to come out after Wrestle Kingdom. Pay-per-views, including Final Battle, moved to the service 90 days after they happened. They're still going to be on BR. Going to keep the existing relationship with Warner Bros. Discovery and Bleacher Report to keep airing pay-per-views based on the success that they've had so far. This was not a win. There's a couple scenarios here, right? Why not put it on some other streaming service? I think because Tony's looking to bundle this. This is my opinion. I think Tony's looking to bundle this with the next TV deal because they're going to provide more content to Warner. I know that they want a digital distribution platform with Warner. They also don't have next day rights available for any of Dynamite. Where do you watch Dynamite the next day?
Right.
You can't. It doesn't exist. So these are all things that Tony wants to do. If he happened to put Ring of Honor on some channel for, I don't know, a year, or put it on a streaming service for a year, it may expose the weakness of the product. It may, give an idea to Warner Bros. On what they can, what their capability is, when you kind of don't want to put that out there, have a year run on a fourth or fifth platform that nobody's going to watch. I think being behind Honor Club hides numbers a little bit. You're putting it behind a paywall, which definitely hides more.
Oh, yeah.
This is it stalling? Is it buying time? Maybe a little bit. But, a lot of this stuff was out of Tony's hands because they're going into a contract year with a company that is slashing everything. Key allies are now gone from the company on every side of Turner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is a company that, is looking to not pay as much. So I think, for Tony to kind of hold on to Ring of Honor until the next deal, until the negotiation starts, and put it on Honor Club, all right, that's fine. But where are you taping this?
Right.
Like, okay, so what are we doing? Are you going to tour on your own? I can't imagine you would want to do that without TV distribution to pay for anything. So you're going to piggyback on Fridays, or you're going to piggyback on Wednesdays? Okay.
They can go kind of old school with it and use Daly's Place and tape like the original NXT. They taped a month of content like every other week, right?
Yeah.
If they went that route, I'd be more than happy with that. 1 hour show, taped Monday and Tuesday, air it at some point. You have it in the can. It's self-contained, so it's not going to bleed over into any live AEW stuff. It'll happen.
And should it be done? Should it be done? I mean, the proper way to do it really is have a TV product, and you do smaller tours. You do like a TV taping, and you're in smaller buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Ring of Honor be its own identity. Is it going to have the same impact if they're running in the same, I guess, building that Dynamite is on? Will it just be a third hour of Dynamite? I mean, in people's minds, or a second hour of Rampage, really, with just Ring of Honor, with different graphics. You got to look at all of this. So I don't know how they're going to present this. I don't know what the New Japan element is, but, it's a series of events that's brought them to this. Tony said he didn't want to just slap this online. He wanted a TV product.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes. Interesting.
You want to talk about Dynamite?
Yeah, let's go into it.
Great opening match. Trios champions Death Triangle beat the Elite with the use of the hammer to Nick Jackson's ankle. But the cool part comes where Kenny challenges them to a no DQ match. Match 6 would be Falls Count Anywhere. Match 7 would be a ladder match if it came to that. So now the Elite are down like a 3-1 deficit.
Yeah. I would say this was the weakest one of their matches, which I guess you need to have one that's not as, you can't do this every week. Have those, 5-star matches. All right, let's see how they do this. I'm very curious about this. The story has been that they have cheated to beat them every time that they've won. And this is going to open the floodgates for to even the playing field. All right, cool.
I do think it's going to come down to match 7.
Yeah, it has to.
These are guys, 6 dudes I would love to see in a ladder match.
Yeah.
The Acclaimed were on their way to the ring, and they got attacked by Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Jeff Jarrett, and Santam Singh.
The Vortex. He said, "Scissor this, slap nuts."
Jeff Jarrett looks like the love child of Mark Twain and The Undertaker.
I mean, it's unbelievable that guy's on TV right now. Every time I hear that song, that music, man, I can't. I have trauma from it. I have trauma from that theme.
But he looks good, which is crazy. He's still like jacked up.
Yeah. Jeff uses guitar on Caster.
Yes. Jericho also said that Danny Garcia should have never lost a pure title and needs to shadow his elder Sammy Guevara.
All right, cool.
And Jericho said he's going to beat up a jobber later. It's kind of funny. Jungle Boy beat Brian Cage with Prince Nana. The Embassy came out to attack Jungle Boy, but Hook made the save. I really like how as soon as Hook shows up, all the other dudes are like, yo, we ain't fucking with this guy.
Yeah, very well done. So I guess you're going to team those two up?
Yeah, why not? Jungle Hook.
Jungle Hook. Hook Boy. How about Hook Boy?
Hook Boy. The House of Black defeated the Factory. Squash match.
Yeah.
And here, I guess this is like news of the night. Action Andretti beat Chris Jericho.
Hold on, but wait, you skipped something interesting, right?
What did I skip?
Nick Camarado. He got misted by Julia Hart.
Yes.
So is he going to be poisoned also now?
I don't think so. I think that was not. I think only Malachi has the power of the magic mist.
Okay. All right, and then we could go into Action Andretti.
Looking like a squash. The crowd went nuts for this. I loved it. I think good for Jericho for being like, you know what? I like this kid. He's gonna be like the next thing. Definitely like a 1-2-3 kid moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a big upset, big win. He's an MCW guy, right?
Is he?
I believe so.
Okay.
He just made this kid's career. He beat Chris Jericho. He started training in 2019. He's 24 years old. Action Andretti.
Great look, great moveset.
Great moveset, good body, young.
Yeah.
I hope he does unbelievable things.
Mm-hmm.
This kid has 7,000 followers only on Instagram.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You know, it's such like a good feel-good story too. Sometimes, you know, you hear about it.
Oh yeah.
But he was under their radar, you know, because he was doing Dark Elevation, I think. No, he was doing Dark. He's wrestled Brian Cage in the past, so you know there were some good feelers here. But Chris Jericho apparently discovered him in October. He saw a tape of him, and he's like, "Oh, I want to do something with him.
I want to wrestle this kid."
Yeah.
Good for Jericho, man. Good for Jericho. Like losing to Claudio, tapping out to the spin, and then losing to this kid. Like I think that guy's untouchable at this point.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
And do you think he ends his career in WWE?
I think he'll always go back. Yeah, I think he'll end up there.
Ruby Soho beat Tay Mello. Fun match. And your main event, which I thought was pretty fantastic. MJF beating Ricky Starks, defending the world title and the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Very old school match. I do like how MJF just blatantly uses like a kick to the nards to win.
Yeah, old school heel versus face. MJF hid behind the ref. A lot of heel moves here. Starks shoved the ref away. MJF hit the low blow. And then afterwards, Danielson came out and chased MJF away. So now you're setting up the program of Bryan Danielson and MJF. You know, should Daniel? I mean, I guess that you could do that in the next pay-per-view, but that's a long ways out.
Yeah,
you got a while to get there.
I dig it. I like that whole chase. There's a great still of
I love it. Yeah.
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, fantastic.
Rampage tonight. Moxley takes on Sammy Guevara. Moxley's like, I think Moxley's trying to make Rampage his show.
Yeah, well, he's doing the CM Punk thing. You know, that was Punk's thing. He would cut the promos and have the matches on Rampage. And John Moxley's now, you know, Mr. Rampage.
Britt Baker versus Sky Blue. Wardlow will be in action, and there is a 8-man tag. Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, and Dustin Rhodes take on the Butcher, the Blade, Kip Sabian, and Trent Seven. How do you feel about the addition of Trent Seven to the roster?
We'll see what he does. I hope he does something positive there.
I really thought it was going to be somebody else last week when
Did you?
Kip was like, check this guy out, you know?
Yeah, he when did they release him in WWE? He got released this year. With
it must have been
the
like
NXT UK stuff.
Yeah, like earlier this year.
Yeah.
September,
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dynamite next week. Match 5 in the best of 7 series between Death Triangle and the Elite. Jamie Hayter defends her title against Hikaru Shida, and FTR take on the Gun Club. I'm sure that's going to be a great match. The Gun Club they remind me of like Station from Bill and Ted 2.
Yeah, okay.
Where like if you mush them together, they just turn into Billy Gunn. They're both like equal parts Billy Gunn, which
equal
is
parts
nuts.
Billy. Yeah, you can put them in, combine them, they'll fuse into Billy.
Mm-hmm. Apparently now, fans are allowed limited cheering at New Japan shows. So you can cheer a catchphrase, counts, but no singing or orchestrated chants.
Yeah, so you can't be too lively, guys. All right? You could have fun, but not too much fun. I don't want any of that screaming.
No screaming.
Right, whatever.
Yeah.
Weird. Cool.
Yeah.
Very strange. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, nothing. Very strange.
The New Japan Wrestle Kingdom card has been released. I think this is like the tentative card. I feel like there's going to be more stuff added to this.
This card? Go down it. Let's see what we got.
You have 2 opening matches. The first being Ryoi Oya versus Bolton Oleg as an exhibition match. Have you seen Bolton Oleg's ears? Straight up cauliflower.
Oh my
ears.
God. It's terrifying.
You get the King of Pro Wrestling 2023 New Japan Rambo match. Those are always fun. The Antonio Inoki Memorial 6-man tag with Togi Magabe, Satoshi Kojima, and Yuji Nagata versus Tatsumi Fujinami, Minoru Suzuki, and Tiger Mask. I thought they were going to do something different with Suzuki because he announced like this is going to be the end of Suzuki Gun.
Yeah, he said it's over for Suzuki Gun. So interesting.
Yeah. You got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles. Francesco Akira and TJP defend against Leo Rush and Yo. That's an interesting tag team. I also thought Leo was tired.
He has multiple times.
IWGP Women's title, Carrie defends against Tam Nakano. This might be where you see Sasha Banks, Mercedes, or however she's going to call herself, you know?
So what does she do? Kyrie wins, and then she comes over, and she, congratulates her, and then points at the belt, and is like, I'm coming for this.
Yeah, she could also probably keep the name recognition, like adding the 1Z to Taz. She could be like Sasha Banks with a C.
Banks.
Like BNKZ. Great. Is she allowed to call her the boss, though, or did WWE?
I don't know. Mercedes Boss. She could be Mercedes Boss.
Yeah.
She trademarked a whole bunch. I can't remember what they were.
FTR defends their IWGP Tag Team titles against Yoshihashi, your favorite, and Hiroki Goto. That's going to be a great match. I think FTR is dropping those belts, though.
They have to, yeah. I mean, that's the beginning of the story, right? Where they're dropping all the titles. They'll drop the AAA titles next to, and then they'll be titleless, and then they'll go after the AEW ones.
Yeah. New Japan World TV title, Ren Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr. to determine the first champion. That's going to be good. Never open weight match. Carl Anderson defends against Tama Tonga. That's going to be a lot of fun. Like we said before, I think there's going to be some kind of like Bullet Club something.
Something, right? Yeah, they got to do something.
Because even though, like, I think part of the weird deal that Anderson and Gallows have is that they could technically still be referred to as the Bullet Club because they've said that on WWE television.
They've alluded. Have they? Yeah, they have said that they were part of the Bullet Club, but they can't identify as being in the Bullet Club. They can be in the club though. They could say oh, they're the OGs, whatever they called it.
Right.
OG club.
This is going to be an interesting match too. You have Muta, Tanahashi, and Shooter versus Naito, Sonata, and Bushi.
I mean, so this is Muta's last match in New Japan. Not his last Tokyo Dome match because he has his retirement is in the Tokyo Dome. So this is the last match for New Japan, I guess, in the Dome, which very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. You have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match. Taiji Ishimori defends against Takahashi, El Desperado, and Master Wato in a 4-way match. That's going to be great, as usual, United States title, Will Ospreay defends against Kenny Omega. I think Kenny takes that belt back. I think so, too. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
I think so, and he's gonna show up on AEW TV with that belt, and like a little side note too, I think we heard some stuff from Kota Ibushi this week where he basically was like, "I'm not gonna sign with anybody. I think I'm gonna make my own wrestling federation."
I mean, but he's done this before. Like he's always said he doesn't want to sign with anybody, and that's kind of been the detriment to his run, right? Because that guy should be the world champion anywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he likes his freedom. I think he likes, he's not driven by that. He wants his freedom. I get it. But it's also a detriment as to, we're not seeing him on TV, and that sucks. I know he's banged up. I mean, he hurt himself too, but he's a fascinating guy.
Nutty guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Do your thing. Do what you got to do. Did you ever see him on, there was a Japanese game show where he posed as a woman?
No.
And he fooled like a panel of judges, and like he had like long hair, like makeup, the whole nine. And then they were like, "You guys are wrong. Check this out." And then they showed like all the Noah and New Japan stuff.
Oh my God.
Of him just moonsaulting everybody. I'll send it to you. It's very interesting. He's an interesting dude. And your main event, IWGP World Heavyweight Title, Jay White defending against Okada. Does Okada regain the title, or does Jay White hold on to it longer?
I got to be honest. I'm not really invested in this match.
Because you've seen it a ton of times?
Yeah, I've seen it a ton. Is it going to be a great match? Yeah, hell yeah, it's going to be a great match. But I've seen it so much. Like, they got it. The ping-ponging has been tremendous here. So,
yeah.
I think Okada maybe takes it, but then who's set up to be the opponent for Okada?
You
can't go back to
that.
Who? Naito, Sonata, Roman Reigns. I mean, you could do Bushi, but I mean, we've seen this. Tanahashi, we've seen this.
Yeah, I think part of me thinks that Jay White retains, and it'll further the Bullet Club stuff. I feel like they're really putting another concentration on Bullet Club again. Like Under Armour released like Bullet Club tracksuits.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
Official. They look awesome, by the way. So who knows, man? I think that's like one of their babies, and they'll never like let that. I think management still has that vision for like that faction.
Yeah.
You want to do some questions?
Yeah, let's do a couple, and then we'll get out of here. I'm dying here.
All right, cool. So we got a few super chats here. If you want to super chat us, we'll answer your question immediately. If you want to super chat us, you can help. It'll make Andrew feel better.
Yes.
This is from Schreier. Hello, my sexy Matmen friends. With Festivus around the corner, what are your fondest memories? And were you persecuted like George in Bayside?
Yes. It originated in Bayside, Queens, Festivus. And the Costanzas ran out of town. They had to leave because they did not understand the Festivus pole. Festivus is a big part of my life. Rich and I dance around the pole, and then we tussle. We oil each other up, and then we tussle around the pole and air our grievances.
Our grievances are mostly about Coco, though.
It's always about Coco.
And MG. Definitely a lot of grievances about MG.
Just oil up and tussle.
I think MG's on his roof right now holding an antenna in like a rainstorm trying to get his internet back.
This'll fix it. It's like an Ernest comedy.
This is another super chat from Schreier. Can Andrew start doing potato ratings as part of the new and improved Matt Men OnlyFans?
Yes, we could start doing that. We could start rating in potatoes.
You could do a rate my potato and
rate
have
my
people
potato.
send pictures of their potatoes to you.
And I just rate the potatoes. I like that. Okay.
This is from Dylan. $13.99. Thanks, man. Sup, guys? With it being December, it reminds me of my favorite December pay-per-view, Armageddon 2000, which was the 6-man Hell in a Cell. Who would be your dream 6-man Hell in a Cell match? Ooh.
Current roster?
Let's go current roster, and then let's go like wild.
So in that match, by the way, that Hell in a Cell, it was Angle, Rock, Rikishi, Austin, Hunter, and The Undertaker. Kurt Angle defeated all of them. I would have current, if he did a 6-man Hell in a Cell with the current roster, it would be Roman, Cody,
Yes.
Seth.
Yes.
Roman, Cody, Seth, Lesnar, Lashley.
Roman, Cody, Seth, Lesnar, Lashley. You need one more.
I need one more.
I feel like it's got to be. Oh, Sammy's good.
Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy's great. Current roster, I would go. Damn, 6 man. 6 mans is tough, but Roman for sure.
6 mans.
6 mans. KO.
Okay.
Drew.
Okay.
Sheamus.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Sheamus, Rey Mysterio, and Austin Theory.
All right, that's cool.
So you get a little bit of everything in there. You know, I feel like putting Brock Lesnar in a cage is a little trite because you know it's gonna break.
It always does.
It always does. You know, of like all time, like Mankind, Undertaker, Austin.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you'd have to go with like those guys, like classic Kane. Here's another $9.99 from Cadillac Carson. Thanks, man. For the new Jungle Hook tag team, what do you think of Tony buying the rights to the song Bare Necessities for their entrance theme? Happy Festivus for the rest of us.
Thank you.
I would love that if it was done by Action Bronson.
Yeah. I'd love that.
That would be amazing. This is a good question from the Shadow Ranger. Imagine your parents are single. Which wrestler in character would you set them up on a date with? Who would you set up Fred with?
Oh man, who would I set up? Listen, I like Naomi.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
they would make
Naomi.
a cute couple. They make a very cute couple.
I like butt. Okay, that's what my dad says. That is an exact Freddie impersonation. Listen, man, like his talent, like he does this. Listen, I like a woman with butt, and then he'll like do this. You know what? I'm setting my dad up with Naomi. That's why I'm doing it.
That'd be your stepmom.
Tamina.
Both of them. Why not? Why not stop? Why stop at one?
Why stop at one? You know what? No. Fred with Rhea Ripley.
Oh yeah.
Listen, man. She's strong. That's my father's accent too, by the way.
It's great. It's great.
I needed her to help me change the tire. This bitch grabbed the car and lifted it. Literally what my father would say.
Accurate, Fred.
Very accurate.
Also, whenever I bring a lady or a female friend or my wife to the house, your dad will say the same thing, which is, "Where have you been all my life?" Which is hysterical.
There was a point that my father would watch wrestling, and he would ask me every time if the Usos were Jamaican.
Yes.
And then I would tell him no, and then he would say, "Oh yeah, because they're Guyanese." And I just gave up, and I'm like, yes, they're Guyanese. The Usos are Guyanese.
I'm going to correct myself here.
Yeah.
I misspoke. It's Daylon.
Oh, Daylon.
Prada. Daylon. Sorry. I
Dylan. I like Dylan. Dylan. You gave him the whitest name.
Dylan, does the CIA have you pushing too many pencils?
Great movie.
This is from, let's do this one last question, and then we're good.
Yeah.
This is from Balor Club. Happy Friday, boys. With the reports of Ric Flair and Tatanka being booked to appear at Raw's 30th anniversary, what other legends would you book for the show?
I do the Dudleys. From that era. Ken Shamrock. Have Kenny show up. The Godfather. Right?
Oh, definitely The Godfather. You know The Godfather.
Who else was there? Austin. I mean, you want to get Austin. X-Pac. You get him.
Yeah, for sure.
Road Dogg will show up. It seems like they're doing like an Attitude Era style thing, right? This year.
Well, these are the legends, right?
Yeah. So
Mick
Foley. Yeah. You could do Foley. Taker could show up.
Oh yeah, like Like youth pastor Undertaker.
Youth pastor Undertaker shows up. That's a new gimmick, huh?
Yeah,
he went from a zombie cowboy to a cultist to a biker, back to like a dead guy, and then a little bit of a demon, and then a youth pastor.
And now it's like, I'm just Mark.
I'm just Mark.
Hysterical. I get a kick out of like all the Undertaker stuff because it was so kayfabed. You know what I mean? Like now
I don't like him
see,
talking.
Like, why not? It makes you uncomfortable because he's a real guy with real problems.
I don't want him to be a real guy with real problems, dude.
You just want like the dead man.
I want the dead man.
The American badass. It's different because like when you see Stone Cold, he's like the same guy, right?
Yeah, I mean he's an extension of himself, but like you watch that guy, you're like, he's not putting on spooky makeup. He's a bald dude that wears jeans, you know?
Right. And that's it. That's his life. Whereas like Taker's like they're both big Texas guys, and Taker is like that's they probably have very similar personalities. And when you see Taker with his kids and wife, you're like, what's happening? It like throws you for a loop.
It does, yeah. He's like a normal dude.
Mm-hmm. As normal as could be.
Yeah.
Like us. You wanna wrap it up?
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right, hold on wrap it up. 1 second. This is from the Kingsman. Oh, geez. Hold on here. Is the rumor of Roman working both nights at WrestleMania true? If not, what's the current plans for the main event? Also, what are you guys' excitement level for the rumored Gunther versus Lesnar match?
I mean, that would be cool with Gunther and Lesnar. I guess you could do it at Rumble. You could set it up there. It's just big dudes, you know. It is kind of like a weird dream match for some people.
Big dudes doing big dude things.
I can't say that. Obviously, that idea was pitched. I don't know how far along in the idea of planning it is, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Roman do 2 nights.
No.
I think it takes away from the second night, no matter what that match is.
Yeah, you know? And like I think it does. If you're going to put this guy in a big position, it makes sense, you know, where like he's finally getting beat or whatever. But it does take away a little something if you have this guy like main event 2 nights in a row. You know, they had a great formula. Go ahead.
One with Cody and one with Dwayne.
One with Cody, one with Dwayne would be awesome, right? But
I don't know.
What's Cody's time frame? You know, who else is it going to be? We've seen Roman Lesnar a million times.
I mean, they have to do Dwayne. I'm saying this because they don't have that opportunity anymore. This is it. They're out of time to get that match done. And if there was ever synergy to be built and to make this happen, it's that XFL that's launching this year. Rock's schedule is much lighter for the XFL schedule for the first year at least. They are going to be in early April for WrestleMania. Could be a big, lead in as far as promotion for XFL playoffs. You know, they really need to get the XFL off the ground. They want to get XFL off the ground, and obviously, marketing this and using WWE as a backbone for some of your viewership by having The Rock on TV, building up to this, makes a lot of sense. However, what doesn't make sense to me is you're gonna have to figure out what you're doing with Roman and the title. Does the title come off of him and he faces The Rock? Does he go in there facing The Rock with the title? Does he have both titles facing The Rock? Does he have one title? Does he drop it to Cody? Does Cody take one title? There's so many variables, different variables here that we're gonna start seeing it in, 6 weeks.
Yeah,
in 6 weeks we'll have the beginning of that puzzle being put together.
Wild, right?
I will say, here's a little tidbit. You guys should watch SmackDown tonight.
Yes,
because there's something happening the following week. Correct?
Well, apparently the setup for something cool is going to be tonight.
Is it tonight? Well, something cool. I'll just say there's something cool happening in the next couple of weeks.
The groundwork is starting tonight, apparently. Okay. So, and apparently it's going to be a shocker, which, hey, listen, I'm all about that.
I know what it is. You're going to show up and take your ding-dong out. That's it. All right, what are we doing? True. Let's go. All right, let's get out of here. Guys, I don't feel good. I'm sorry. And that's it. Goodbye.
Later. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.